Today, I'm sharing the exact buyer cycle framework that the top 10% of sales professionals use to close more deals. This is an advanced sales workshop that I gave to a group of retail sales professionals to help them close over 110K per month in sales. If this is something that you want to do, then dive in and let's see what you can learn from it. I'm going to cover some advanced sales training for all of you. Now, how will this help you? How do you think being better at sales will help you? And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to make more income in sales, but how do you think being better at sales will improve your life?
It'll be great.
Go ahead.
I would say it like for me, it's rewarding. I don't know. It's rewarding and brings me happiness. I don't know how to say this. I always tell people outside of here, my life is great.
Okay, so it's rewarding. Maybe would you call that fulfilling?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here.
Just in general, I think it makes you a better, stronger communicator.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that was one of the biggest ones I wanted to get to, right? You'll just become better at communication. And when you're better at communication, you can go do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be sales. You can just communicate your own relationships better, right? Because you have that and that understanding. All right, so now there's 4 things that you must understand right in the beginning before we ever even get involved in this, okay? There's 4 levels of coachability. And I'm saying this first because this will matter. This will matter with what you retain right now. The first level is not coachable. That means no matter what I say, you're not going to believe it because the voice in your head is the only one that really matters. Everybody else is wrong. And we all know people like that, right? Would we agree? Does everybody know somebody who's like, now there's like a Mr. Know-It-All or a Mrs. Know-It-All, right? And that's all they do. Okay. Okay, the second 2, number 2 and number 3, and I put these in green because 80% of us in here fall into this. I'm sorry, 100% of us fall into this 80% of the time. We all do, whether we like it or not. These are the 2 that we have to just figure out how to move out of. The first one is being reluctant. And I'm gonna hope I spell reluctant fine or okay. So reluctantly coachable.
Reluctant.
Reluctant. There we go. Reluctant, okay? We are reluctantly coachable. That means this. What does reluctantly coachable mean? What do you think?
You don't want to be coached? You think
Yeah.
you know what you're doing and then you get told that you weren't.
Okay, kind of something like that, all right? It's more of like, I'm having a good day today, so I'll listen. And if I'm not having a good day today, I have no desire to listen to anybody about anything, okay? And if any of you played sport, who's played sports in here? Right? Day that you went in and you're like, man, I don't want to be here. How much did you listen to the coach? Not very much, right? Or if you're like, man, I'm excited, I'm happy, this is going to be fun. You listen to the coach and you just did it, right? The third one is selective. So you're selectively coachable. And selectively coachable simply means if I agree with you, you'll listen or I'll listen. If I don't agree with you, I'm not going to listen to you. So this really falls into your belief systems. And one of the hardest things for us to get out of is to have an open enough mind to get away from our own limiting belief systems and get to a limitless belief system. If you do that, you're going to succeed at no matter what. Even if it isn't sales that you decide to stay in, because sales is just going to help you be a stronger communicator. Maybe you become a manager or maybe you move into a different role, still going to have to communicate. Correct? Would you agree or disagree? Agree? Okay. Now, the 4th one, this is the one where we all hope to get to. And if we can do this, and if you can do this today, I'm asking you to try to go into number 4. And if you can do it, you can take something out of here very powerful. And that's to be 100% coachable.
Yes.
Okay? If you can be 100% coachable and just willing to put aside any beliefs you have, anything that maybe you're in a bad mood today or whichever, just put all that aside and just listen. And I'm not asking you to listen and believe me on blind faith. I'm giving you the stuff that I have figured out over the years, that I've kept that worked for me, and I threw all the rest of it away. But I still want you to not necessarily believe me on blind faith. I want you to think about this and go use it and see if it works. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, discard it. Okay, and because I don't want you to do something that you don't like. All right. So here's what you have to understand when it comes to advanced sales. It's not about selling. It's about understanding the buyer. And if you can understand the buyer, you can make any of the sales that you want. Okay. So what I'm going to explain to you is a buyer's cycle. And if you understand the buyer cycle, you'll get there. This comes from an old term that they used in marketing back in the day. Okay? It starts with A, goes to I, goes to D, and then goes to A. So the term is AIDA, is how they'll pronounce it. So AIDA. Okay. All right. So what do you think the first thing is? What do you think the first thing you have to do with the buyer? Grab their what? What? Grab their attention. Yes. So when grabbing attention, how do you grab somebody's attention? What's the fastest way? Okay, let me put it into dating terms for you. Okay? So we've all dated or we're in the dating area of our life, okay? One or the other. We either dated or we're in that area. All right? So let me put it into dating terms for you. If you want to get someone's attention that you think is attractive, what are you going to need to do? You need to do two things. Right? You're going to need to do, yeah. You're going to need to approach. So you're going to need to approach that person. And then guess what you're going to need?
Eye contact?
No. You're going to need, it's a lot of times, no. A lot of times it has to do with breaking the ice. It's an opener.
Oh, like an icebreaker.
Like an icebreaker, all right? So you have to open the conversation. And there's two ways you can open a conversation. Either with something that's going to give you a very short answer or something that's maybe going to give you a little bit more answer. Open with what? Open-ended question, right? So close-ended, open-ended. If you do an open-ended question and you say, especially in this retail space, I've asked you multiple times, all of you, to say what? What brings you in today? 5 words. What brings you in today? Those 5 words open the conversation, all right? So an opener is simply something you want to think about that will help you open the conversation so you can kind of get everything rolling. But I've helped you identify it on here, which is what brings you in today. And that's going to help you because it's going to help them, oh, I'm in here for whichever. Because this opener will also do what things for you? What will this opener do for you more than anything else? Okay, spill the beans. And what does spilling the beans help you get to? Pre what? What do you want to do with a customer as quickly as you possibly can to move the sale or move the buyer into a closing situation?
Pre-qualify?
What? Pre-qualify. Because each of you fall into a different specialty role. Okay? You want to pre-qualify them as quickly as possible so you can either point them where they need to go, help them where they need to go, or go there next.
Here's Dennis.
Yeah, there you go, right? So you want to pre-qualify them. That's what the opener, that's why what brings you in today is so powerful. Because hey, I'm here for something that's not even part of your department. You're like, all right, well, it's not going to necessarily be a big ticket. It's not part of my department, but there's somebody else who can help them. So send them that way. So you want to understand the attention, but that attention helps you understand where they are in the buying cycle. If they're way up here, are they ready to buy? No, because this last A, which I'll talk about, is the buy. But they're way up here. It gives you an idea where it goes, because sometimes when customers come in, they quickly move through this because they might have done their own research already. They might have talked to somebody already before they came in, or they just know what they want. I came in, I want a refrigerator. Boom. Okay, this is the one it is. Here you go. You're ringing them up and off they go. And you're like, wow, that was quick, right? So from attention, we need to understand what kind of interest is where they're at. What is their interest level? And interest level is important because you need to know if, hey, are they ready to purchase? Are they close to the purchasing side of things? Or is it better for me just to build a quote and then to find out more about their project and to see how much more of the project I can build for them? Instead of just maybe one piece because you asked, what? What'd you ask up here?
Open-ended question.
Which one? 5 words? What? What brings you in today? You start to see where their interest is, okay? You start to see like, oh, wow, okay, they're here for this or they're here for that. Or, hey, they're just at the beginning stages of their project and they need a little help. Maybe they know, maybe it's a pro, they already know everything that they want. Or maybe it's a consumer who's like, they don't really have an idea of where they're at. Let me help them figure out the whole project. Okay. So the interest part of this is important. Now, the D stands for desire. That means what level of desire are they at? Are they ready to buy, or are they just looking around and still waiting, still trying to gather more information? And this is where you can get information and give information. So it's very important for you to keep asking questions, because in this part right here, the most important thing that we need to be doing with customers as they come in is we need to seek. So go find them in the aisles. Sometimes you'll find them right there, sometimes you won't. Then we need to engage, right? So we need to engage with the customers and start what? What do we need to start? A what?
Conversation.
A conversation. Because if you start that conversation, you can start to see how interested they are and what desire and what level of desire that they're at. And I put customers, you can put them in an A, B, C, D type thing, or you can put them in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing. Whatever you want that'll help you figure out like, oh, okay, this needs to be, they're at a 5 level or they're at a 1 level. Okay? And then the last one, what do you think the last one stands for?
Acceptance.
Close?
I'm gonna say agreement. Say acknowledgement.
Action.
Action. The action part of this is them actually purchasing. So them actually purchasing whatever it is that they came in for. And your, in a sense, selling cycle goes in conjunction with the buyer cycle. You need to know where they're at in this cycle before you start to make an offer. If they're up here and you approach them, hey, what brings you in today? Oh, I'm in for some tile. Great, I got this right here. It's 95 cents a square foot. And they're like, okay, I don't know. I don't want that, right? That's you making an offer way too soon. You need to have the conversation to ask questions, figure out what's going on, doing that, find out then where their desire level is, and then move into the action part, which is then making the offer. And what works here, because you just had this happen back there, okay? And you were asking me questions. And I want you all to be empowered to just do it for yourself. Because if somebody's saying, hey, look, was there more discount? Is there more of a discount for this or more a discount for that? If someone's asking you for that, what is the first thing that you'd be thinking about offering? What's the first thing that you want to bring up and start to pitch to make an offer to? Offer for? Credit, right? So you should be making that offer. You don't need to come and ask me because I'm not going to give you any more. Because if you want something from me, you got to bring something to me, right? So this is a give and take. I want win-win and ultimately win-win-win, right? So if we can all win, then great. So you should be thinking about, all right, everything that was said to me, what kind of offers, not one, but what multiple offers should I be making and should I be presenting to the customer? And if you can present the right offers, is sales hard or sales easy?
Are you asking?
Yeah. Is it hard or easy if you've gone through this and then you're looking at making the offers? It's pretty easy, right? Because then you already understand what the problems are, because in this part of really this part right here, I'll split it out. This part right here is all about problem solving, or really problem identification, okay? Find the problems. So if you can identify them, then you can what?
Solve.
Then you can solve them. Because if you know what the problem is, you can figure out what offers will actually solve them, and you can also not try to make offers that won't even solve it, and it's just going to be a waste of time for you and a waste of time for them, and it's going to frustrate you. Okay, so you have your sales side, which is simply just what I talk about. Seek them out, engage, have a conversation. A lot of times we seek and then pitch. And I had one of the associates come to me. It was awesome. It was one of the best things I've ever had anyone come to me and ask me. She went out there and she started pitching the credit offers, and she came back after about 3. I think she pitched it 3 times. She came back and she's like, Jason, what do I need to do? Because it just doesn't seem like they're like, they it doesn't seem, it's not working. I'm not getting anybody even interested whatsoever. They just kind of keep walking past me. And then I basically said, okay, we'll just start a conversation and find out identify their problem. And then if credit is something that will work for them and it's a good solution, then offer the credit. And she came back like almost immediately and got a credit card by simply just changing that one thing. By instead of pitching, listening for problems, trying to find a solution for it. Okay, so this here, honestly, it looks simple, right? But this here is advanced selling. This is advanced. And if you simply just do this, you're going to win. Okay? Because one of the things that this helped me do, this little thing, literally, this little chart right here, helped me go from a 20% close rate to an 83% close rate. Consistently and predictably. I didn't even have to, I knew I brought in 10 people, 8.3 of them were going to purchase from me. It didn't matter if it's a product or a service-based business. Does not matter. And I did this in my service-based business, and then I brought it here into retail, which was all products, and it worked the exact same way. Okay? Ryan, who's been doing this for 1 year now, Ryan consistently closes 200K a month, consistently. And I challenged him to close 300. I actually challenged him to close 350 because he has the potential to close 350K a month. And he does it like clockwork. He has like every month, 200K, 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 a little bit over 200K, maybe sometimes a little under, but pretty much all the time. And this works on the phone just as much as it works in person. I did this on the phone. Because in service-based business, you want people to come into your service to help you. So my cycle was they called and they made an appointment. Okay? So when they called, my appointment setting using this was a 90, it ranged between 93 and 95% every single month. Never skipped a beat when I would do it, and then I just trained my staff to do it. Same thing, and they did it. And they literally read off a script. They would sit in front of the phone, and they literally would read off a script. Now, that was in the beginning, and then after a while, they just stopped reading off the script because they knew it so well, and it kind of really became theirs, and they had their own unique twist to it and everything, and I didn't have a problem because I kept doing this. And the same thing with this. So I gave you guys a script. What did you say it was? What were the 5 words? Yep, that simple thing. Right? Because what do we normally ask? We normally ask, or could we help you find something? No. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm looking for, and then they just give you, but then you got to like really start the conversation, okay? Versus kind of switching up the way you say it or how you say it, okay? For the pro business, I did different. Instead of me asking what brings you in today, what project are you working on today? Or what projects do you have coming up? Okay, that was the only switch up in the terminology. It wasn't much at all. How will it help you? How will this help you? What will it do? What will this do for you? Let's not even worry about sales. What will it do for you in your life?
It's going to build relationships.
Yeah, it's going to build relationships.
I was going to say it's going to give you structure on how to do something. It's like you said, it's a game plan.
Yes. Yep, this is a game plan. I like to use framework, but game plan, I like that word too. So this seriously is just a game plan. And all of you understand a game plan and running like X's and O's and having all these lines everywhere that you have to run your plays on. All right? This is simply just a game plan. And look, sales is a game, life is a game. All right. It's all that. So yeah, sometimes it's torture. Sometimes it's, pleasure, I guess. Right. So if you use this will help your communications, even if you don't even look, I'm not even going to worry about selling anymore. Look, it'll just help your communication. And from a customer or from sales perspective, it's about learning how to think about them and not us, because a lot of times we're like, oh, we have these numbers. I want to make more sales. I need to meet my sales per hour. I need to have my quota. You got all these things running through your mind, and those things will get in your way. Those distractions that I call them will get in your way from just like, look, I'm going to block all that out, because if I help more customers, I'm going to get more sales, right? So I've talked with all of you about your GPA. You need to consider what your GPA is every time you come in. Before you get here, you have, whether you're driving here or you're commuting here in some way, you should be thinking about, okay, what is my goal?
My drive's only 4 minutes.
4 minutes. You only need 30 seconds to think about what your goal is, right? So that's all you need to do, and think about that every time, because that GPA is going to be like, okay, we call it our grade point average. You're either going to have a low grade point average or a high grade point average for the day. Where do you want to be? Right? And every day, it's up to you. It's your personal choice. If you decide you're like, look, I'm gonna go in a low GPA today, that's fine. I'm not gonna.
I think it's better to set your goal out as low, and then you can build
Yep.
up. One day start here, and then if you feel comfortable and good about it, just build up on it.
Yeah. If you want to set like, hey, look, I just want to get this. Like, I just want to talk to one person. Great. Let me talk to one person, then get to there. Malachi, how many people did you want to talk to per day? How many people? What was your goal? 25, right? Because you get to 25, you're probably going to get pretty close to that $6,000 to $8,000 per day, because you work backwards. All right. Okay, you want to make $200,000 a month. Let's work backwards from that number. Okay, you need to make $200,000 a month. What do you need to do per week? Get your calculator out. Tell me what you need to do per week. 4 weeks. 50K. Okay. If you need to make 50K per week, how much do you need to sell per day? If you're working 5 days a week, 10K, right? So you need to produce 10K per day. All right. Okay, I need to produce 10K per day, but that's just a number. How many customers do you need to talk to, right, to make 10K? And depends on your department, it's a little bit more, right? So it all depends on the department itself. Who I'm talking about here, he's a pro, right? That department sell the whole store, okay? But each of you have your own single departments. Okay, if you need to sell 10K, how many people do you need to talk to sell 10K? For you, knowing what you're capable of doing, how many people do you need to talk to?
In my department?
Well, whether or just in your department, or if you're like, look, I'm going to cross to other departments as well, because you're never just in your department. And by the way, you can sell whole projects.
A lot. What is it, like 30?
Okay, 30 people.
And we definitely talk to that many people a day. I mean,
Yes. So now you have it per day, and then you could break that down per hour, and going, okay, if I didn't talk to 30 people already by the end of the day, I need to hustle a little bit more, because you won't get to 10K to 50K to 200K if you don't speak to that many. And by the way, this 200K number, if you come in and you're like, I set my goal at 200K, and you don't break it down to smaller goals for yourself, you're going to be like, it's too hard to reach that. You get midweek and you're like, I didn't make any sales whatsoever. You start to get discouraged, disappointed, and then you just like, well, I guess I don't need to make my calls today. I don't need to follow up on my quotes. There's nothing's going to happen. You see how your attitude starts going the wrong direction versus, okay, I know I just need to speak to this many more. Or I got to 30, but maybe by Friday, you're like, man, I'm down 40 people. Well, I'm going to run around the store, talk to 80 people or 70 people, because I know I need to get 30 today, plus I need 40 more. I'm going to get 70. Who knows? Maybe Friday's the day that you pick up that big sale, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I met my $10,000 per day. I met my $50,000 week. I've done that. I don't even know how many times. So many times. Have the endurance. Sales is what?
that's broad.
Sales is a marathon. Sales is a marathon. You'll get there. Again, like I said, keep what you want, discard what you don't. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This is what worked for me. I'm a type of person that I need to simplify things. If things become too complex, like, okay, take for instance, you all have heard SMART goal setting, right? Have any of you heard the SMART goal setting? Not smart customer service, SMART goal setting. Okay, who hasn't heard of SMART goal setting? So raise your hand if you haven't. Doesn't matter. Okay, does anybody know? Who can tell me what SMART stands for?
It's sustainable, measurable.
Hold on. Sustainable, measurable. Got it. What else?
Attainable.
Attainable, achieve. Yeah. Okay. See how it's like it's so hard for us to kind of get all that together and remember it all. And when I did, I was like, wow, this is really good. And I started putting it into place and I was like I'm like, man, this is too confusing. And then I had to write all these things for all of it. Then I had to double check and triple check and see if I was getting it right on any of them. And before you know, guess what I did with my goals? They were in a notebook that never got used anymore. And I go back to it like 5 years later. I'm like, oh my God, I wrote this goal and it never went anywhere. That's when I simplified everything to GPA. Just set a goal, have a plan of action, and have some accountability. Because I realized that if I had a goal and then I put in it with a goal without a plan is just a dream, and that doesn't go anywhere for me. So okay, now I have a plan, but then if I didn't hold myself accountable or somebody else hold me accountable, I'd find myself kind of like, maybe I won't do it today. Right? Kind of it's like that's the gym model. The gym model is have them sign up with a buddy because if they come with a buddy, most likely there's like that accountability. Someone will like get them to the gym more often. Okay. All right. So hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this can improve it. Now what I want to know is I want to hear from you if you use it, how it helped you. We're like, oh, you want to know something? I used that opener to open. I found out things much better because I had like a framework to use. I knew the attention. I knew where their interest level lied. So then I could kind of see where their desire. Do they want to purchase today or they just want to quote? Am I selling more or am I building more quotes? Right? And then, hey, they're taking action. I'm selling more of my quotes a couple days later, or I'm selling more just right at the moment. In the comments, let me know what worked for you and what didn't. Let me know what your close rate is and let me know what you're struggling with and what areas that you're struggling in to help you close more sales. If I can answer them, I'll answer them in videos or I'll answer them straight in these comments.